All right, let's clean up all this gore. Man, this we had an effect on like the biome this time. Like we go around and we affect the politics, we affect all sorts of things in each location. This time we changed the forest like fundamentally. Like, this whole chunk here is all one continuous bizarre situation, and we killed the basis of how that whole thing works, and like now it's just gonna not work that way anymore from here on out, basically. What's this chunk gonna be now? It's time for the story to change again. There's been a change of type a lot. Happens a lot. First map was kind of all one place. Second map though was like Scoia'tael Forest, then Nilfgaard Siege. Then third map was actually kind of all one place again, because it was all Mahakam. But this place has like a divide of like, at least between this regular swamp and this especially fucked swamp. Although I wonder, is everything past here going to still be like that? Just from before? Or was this like her lair, but then everything past here is mysteriously not like that? Because you'd think this would be the core, right? So everything, like an almost equidistant amount in that direction would be like this area. But it might just stop being like the weird blood swamp immediately after here. I don't know. Just look how fucked this place is. Also, that's a lot of her blood. I wonder if it just doesn't get consumed that quickly. Because she has to grow all that blood, right? A distressing creature design. Soon I will be out of upgrades. And then these will just be resources that exist, I guess. From Jorgovit, Grand Royal Huntsman, to Ragbard, Lord of Temeria, Mahakam, and the Pontar. My lord, I offer you my sincerest apologies. I have failed in my task. We were forced to cease felling. We simply lack the necessary labor. Men are falling like flies, dying from disease and festering wounds. We've abandoned camp. I've sent items of the greatest worth to Vizima and locked chests. However, I will not be returning to the capital, as I'm in no condition to travel. I have a wound on my leg, and rot has already set in. It has been a true honor to serve under your command. Oh, that's a dying note. That's not just a we're giving up, this is literally not going to work.
One day, the quartermaster approached with news to report. Alas, bad news.
Your Grace, our food stocks have near run out. And about villages, folk have naught to spare, not even to trade.
The Queen dispatched small groups of scouts. They were to scour the countryside for hunting camps, beekeepers, charcoal burners, any souls willing to trade food for coin or goods. The first scouts came back around dusk. The last 3 detachments returned not at all. At first, Meve suspected they'd fallen prey to monsters, the beastly or Nilfgaardian kind. Later, she learned the men had left naught of their belongings behind. She'd been soft-hearted toward deserters. This lot decided they, too, would give it a try. That night, Meve lay still but sleepless. Beneath thin covers, she was cold, hungry, irate.
And there's your punishment for not killing them. It always seems cruel, but that's the reason why the cruelty exists, is because it's a display for the others.
Towering alders grow thick in Isgith, their crowns weaving an expansive canopy that obscures the sky. Any sunbeams to slip through this twisted thicket scatter in the milky mist below. Thus the marsh abides in a state of perpetual twilight, wherein a sense of time and direction are easily lost. As the force moved along, a glow appeared in the trees. The Lyrians squinted, their mouths agape in wonder. An orb hung over the water, pulsating, humming. It circled the soldiers, darted off a distance, then hovered as if waiting.
A will-o'-the-wisp, that is,
whispered one of the footmen.
Believe it's keen to show us something.
Never a good idea. Whoops.
Meve knew the wisp could prove treacherous, lead them into a trap. Nonetheless, she followed, though not entirely certain why. Her soldiers seemed eager. She sensed they approved. Yet she was also simply curious.
We follow it. Carefully. Weapons at the ready.
That innate curiosity that is not necessarily a good idea, but it's totally how I play these games. It's like, ooh, well then where is that gonna show me? What's gonna be over there is the entire logic, as opposed to whether or not it's safe.
As the wisp led the Lyrians down a narrow, winding path, Meve surveyed her surroundings warily. Beads of sweat emerged upon her brow. But her fears, in the end, proved unfounded, for at the path's end, the troops found what appeared to be a caravan's remains. Its wagons, rot-eaten, half-buried in the bog, had sat there for decades, perhaps longer. Despite this, gilded panels and scraps of silver-threaded fabric showed they'd once been rather ornate. Inside the wagons, the soldiers discovered many steel crates. Rust-covered but intact, they contained truly dazzling treasures. Sacks bulging with gold coin, pearl-encrusted goblets, exotic velvets and silks in beads.
Blimey, the sheer amount. And here of all places.
A footman muttered under his breath. Meve quickly pieced it all together. She too had once ridden in such a caravan, splendid and laden with gold, when she'd left her home to marry. The rest of the story was not difficult to divine. This was a maiden's dowry. She and her retinue lost their way. Isgith proved their grave, unbeknownst to any other. The wisp circled Meve's party, blinked several times, then faded into thin air. The troops resumed their march, and all seemed in order. Seemed, for soon several footmen were discovered to be gone. Greed had been their ruin. They'd grabbed too much. The loot had weighed them down, and the marsh had embraced them.
Huh. So first of all, though, I guess the surprise was that nothing bad was happening when will-o-wisps are usually supposed to, I believe, lure you to some sort of trap or doom. Even the thing was called the Misguided Light. It actually did lead us to treasures, but it was like a bit of a monkey paw for some of these people. They immediately were killed by taking too much loot. What's my bag over here? Sodden parchment. Document found on a sunken wagon. Our fondest congratulations. We eagerly await the day our family shall be bounded by a new member. Let these humble gifts help with, may the bride know but happiness, and with regards and best wishes. So the Witcher told us, was it Ivo? Evo? He told us that somebody, I don't remember if it was specifically a maiden meant to marry or not, but there's supposed to be a princess or something similar-ish that came through in a carriage and was consumed by the bog. So like finding this over here actually matches up with the story of the boss that we just defeated. So it might have, that story actually might have turned out to be true. Or coincidence. A lot of bad things happen here. Boop. That's that, isn't it? Yep. Yep, we have every single upgrade in the game. So, and I assume we have another map left to go. We'll see. That's the last one. So now we have a Wagenburg Plus, which is, I still feel weird about, but the Mantlet. Mark an ally. When it's destroyed, move it to the hand instead of the graveyard, then destroy self. I'm curious about that one. The ability to play a particular ally again. Maybe even bosses. It's worth testing out at least. And the Aruteza Adept Plus. Choose a bronze ally in your hand or on the battlefield, add 2 copies to the deck. Then boost all copies of the unit in the hand, deck, and battlefield. If it's a particularly strong copy of said card, then crossing that adept with reinforcements means you just have a ton of that particular card and they're all powerful. Which could be a fun thing to just do one day with like a slinger or something. Like, it's like, oh, you have 5 slingers? Well, here's 2 more slingers, and all the slingers are stronger, and here they're all in the field at once, just as an overwhelming force churn. Maybe. There is the fact also that I can draw units from... I can draw those units from my deck using the Angrenny Blade, which is really powerful. It's certainly an idea. There's so many cards now. There are so many cards now. Oh, you don't come cheap, huh? In particular, when I hear when it is destroyed, I can't help but think that maybe when it is destroyed also applies to ending the round. And then you go to the next round and you can use the same card again, I would hope. We'll give it a go, and we'll find out. Might as well just buy whatever cards I want and use them from here on out, because I have no other uses for these resources unless the game comes up with narrative uses for those resources, like in well, Banner Saga, basically. I like the Pitfall Trap. I think I avoided buying it so much because of the fact that the it was just expensive for wood, and I didn't like that. But now I'm out of uses for wood, so I can go ahead and just buy things like that. Yeah, the Arbalist has not really been in my deck. I find myself wondering, like, sure, the cavalry is kind of neat, but is it better just to have more slingers? They do damage by 2 now, I have to remember that. They are stronger than I remember them being. Just hard not to think that it's kind of a weird, underwhelming card. Oops. Fill up on slingers again. I'm just not crazy about the cavalry. This guy doesn't have a cooldown, so it's just a one-time skill, which could admittedly be added by Odo, but I only have 1 Odo. I'm gonna let this sit for a moment. Hello. Back to the plant spider things. We have a regular fight. Come out, wherever you are. A moss-covered boulder protruded from the green, fetid water. The Lyrians breathed a cautious sigh of relief, for perhaps dry land was finally close at hand. However, When they drew close, they discovered it was no stone at all, but the shell of a monstrous behemoth. Definitely almost clicked on load there. And everyone has low morale for now. I have strays, but no fire. Huh. Potentially a fun chance to use Barnabas twice, perhaps. And you could let me use Ale next turn. But I don't have anything good for this turn. Really? Ah. Of course. Whoa, yeah, it isn't a giant shell. Spawns an Arcus hatchling every 3 turns, which has 5. Resilience. Whenever an Arcus appears, strengthens self by 1. So, he probably has a bunch in his deck in addition to the one that spawns every 3 turns, but otherwise he has a 15-2, not the scariest unit. But he has resilience, so I can't just pass. He'll stick around. Doggy! Doggy, even after a buff, he's still red? Damn. Ha! Hi. Whenever a unit appears on the battlefield, damaged by 1. Oh. Well. Tame? I'll class Skellig as my train bears, but that don't at all mean they tame them. Ah. The good news is I have armor, so at least it'll harm the armor instead of me, but not great news. Let's do some damage to Dr. Permanent up here. Really, you're gonna keep okay. You're gonna keep playing them on that row, huh? Whenever a unit appears in the battlefield, damage it by 1. He's damaging his own units. What in the world? Why? What in the world? Alright.
This could hurt.
I didn't even think about that. It didn't say enemy, it said unit. He'll damage his own guys. Oh, that's weird. This reshuffle's an interesting mechanic. That's a pretty good one.
Yes? Wanna know why I got a scar?
Alright, that'll make me relatively powerful if he's gonna keep summoning so many mass units, being the monster deck and all. Then I'll attack him by the number of units he has. He passed? Shit. He's gonna have card advantage here. That's not great news. I think I can even this quickly. There we go. At least that's one turn. I didn't kill the resilience unit though. Ah. I think I want that guy back. Let's kill the resilience unit. I'm not going to. It's only going to be 5 damage. Shit. Oh well. I just would like to take that character back with me. Okay, so that's not how that mechanic works. Well, now I know. So, units being discarded or whatever at the end of a round does not count as being destroyed, as far as the mantelet is considered. So you don't get that card back. Great. Well, I want to reclaim card advantage, so I have a trick I'm going to try. I just want to spend one card total, so shit. No.
Her Majesty is exceptional.
Not Odo. That's an unfortunate draw. That's my first draw of the round. And pass. What is he doing? Oh shit, they all have resilience. Uh-oh. Didn't think about that. I thought he had an opening card that had resilience. I didn't think he would keep having resilience. Okay. Not necessarily anticipating that. I need fire dudes. I can draw fire dudes though with my power. Yeah, 2 of them, which would be nice. That guy's good. That guy can let me redo blitz. It's an acceptable hand. I'll make it work, I guess. Okay, this might be a bit of a challenge. Okay, he already has about 70. We're gonna have some fun here. Okay. Let's start with you.
Necessity. Invention's mum.
Yes. Thank you.
Right, left, right.
Now get rid of the blacksmith. And I think I specifically want you to.
Catch.
I've got some general damage that needs to be applied here. Okay. That'll help even things up over the course. Why? Oh, whenever this unit survives an attack, spawn 2 Arcus hatchlings. That's why he keeps doing that. That's why he's being weirdly suicidal. Because whenever these guys spawn, these guys get powered. Oh, he's using my environmental hazards as something against me, basically. Huh. Well, that's news to me. We need to get you played.
I live to serve.
He needs to get busy buffing everybody. Oh, not the best time.
Left, right, left. What now?
Quick and painful this'll be.
I'm sure I can make this work. But yeah, that guy's gonna spawn things like crazy. which is going to keep buffing everybody, so gonna have to get busy with the damage. That's quite a power engine they've got there. I can't bump that many people into that row right now. I just want to maximize the power of my big bombs.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
There we go. I want to get as many high power units in the top row as possible so I can use the Strays of Spalla on them all at once. Jesus Christ. My attempts may be futile there. They just keep getting stronger. Oh, interesting system you got there. Let's get the big bats in the back row. There we go. At least they're in one place now. If nothing else, once I do the 2 Strays of Spalla, all of these guys will be dead. Even if they do spawn more along the way. So at least they'll stop doing that. They just keep going. Oh, a bear. Yeah. Alright, here's where we start taking it back.
Looking to dance, eh?
Alright, I hope your deck is out of those. At the very least. Ah. And at least none of them are impressively strong now, but they're all still like these two are where they started. That's all that work was, just to get to where we started. It's something though. I've at least undone the bad thing. And he seems to not have any more of those. He's playing vampires now. That hatchling was spawned by, yeah, his cooldown. Well, yeah, I need to get this guy played so he actually gets a chance to summon. And I guess next I want to do his bell, just because those characters need to actually go on the board. Oh, another fire bomber.
I smell a leak. Ever have a storm knock out one of your teeth?
Get all you in that back row. Take some damage. That's not bad, huh? That's 7 damage each. That's 21 damage in one card play. It's easy to see why I'm not using Arbalists in the deck anymore when I have stuff like that available. What's my weakest card that can't do anything after this point? The Hajduke. I can fit 1 guy in the top row, 3 in the bottom row. So I could go with this guy. Do I have enough turns left to... yeah. Potentially. Or one of these guys. What's in my graveyard? Ooh, Northern Wind. That'd be pretty good at this point.
Something from nothing. It's exactly what I do.
There we go. There's some damage.
My pain serves a purpose.
Ooh, a spy. 16, I guess. Jesus. Yeah, he's not going to survive. That can't happen. There's no chance. Another drummer? Oh god. We're gonna be full up now. Maybe not the best call. Definitely considered, like, can I just kill my own unit? No. None of them are weak enough. The guy with the lowest health has 7 armor somehow. I'm not even sure how that happened. Or what do they spawn with? Is the 6 their normal amount? Are they just heavily armored? I've lost track now because things have changed a bit over time. Definitely put him into the spike row. And I guess I can finish these 2 off. We've taken control. I can't play any of my units to take up space. Goodbye, Spy. You were not really great, but you know, it happened at RNG. Gascon has 36. Jeez. I mean, that's pretty good, so I should hold out for the chance, maybe. But it's probably not going to happen. Damage all units by 1, damn. Just all units. Their bears do not play nice with anything. It's just a roar. I didn't know there was this many bear variants in the game. Goodbye, Isabel. So some mistakes were made. So yeah, now in particular, I know the Manchlet has that unit does have to be destroyed, like explicitly, like via some sort of attack or damage source, or a card that destroys cards, I guess. Is that a thing? Scorch destroyed cards in the base game, the original game in Witcher 3. I don't think, but Scorch doesn't exist in this game, I think, and it might exist in Gwent, but I think it might just do damage now. I think Scorch is gone. Anyway, I'm not crazy about you. Click. How do I keep overdrawing bombers? Oh, right, because when I'm getting rid of him using her ability, he goes back in the deck, so I end up drawing the same one again. I was gonna say, like, I've seen more bombers in games than the 3 that I supposedly have in my deck, and that's why. This could be really strong in some cases. I often have one really strong unit. I'm just trying to consider whether it's better to have like a Marana Runestone versus Mahakam Ale and stuff like that. I'm thinking about the fact that like you usually are playing like 1 unit per turn, and Mahakam Ale is buffing 2 people per turn, so it's like each individual one has like double the chance of getting affected by Ale than the Runestone, except that doesn't account for all the summoning I do, so it's kind of a mixed bag. But instead of, on top of just doing the +2, this one also heals all the allies, which takes them to their default health. Yeah, they first go to their default amount of health, then they go up by 2. Which does seem pretty strong. That might be a decent thing to replace the horn with in some cases. Because it's +2 to all allies and more. But if the Mahakam Ales are around, it's healing people often enough that they often don't need to be healed. Lizard, the RNG trinket. There's some really cool effects in here. I think I have kind of settled in a bit though.